You know, when you get the chance to travel to a place like this and play music with two musicians like Danilo Gallo and Gandhi in a studio like Artesuono with an engineer like Stefano Amerio, you don't pass it up. This is how Momento came about. I first met Danilo and Gandhi on a project for the Edinburgh Jazz Festival back in 2012. They came over to Scotland with Enzo Favata, who's a great saxophone player from Sardinia. Enzo was invited by the festival that year to collaborate with myself and Colin Steele. I've been working with Colin since the mid-1990s. I'd say that folk music's been a strong element of the music that we've made together over the years. Enzo's playing also draws on traditional music from Sardinia, so it was an interesting match. Quite a canny proposition from the Edinburgh Jazz Festival. That quintet developed into a project called Stone Islands, and we played a couple of times at the festival, as well as some gigs in Sardinia. The Stone Islands quintet was great. It actually expanded into an 11-piece ensemble, which had a brilliant mix of Scots and Italian players. But from the very beginning of that project, I really liked the energy that we had between the piano trio. There was something about the way they played that was very comfortable and natural for me to connect with. There was a sense of space in the music that I loved. Last time we did a concert in Sardinia, we were driving back from the rehearsal and Gandhi played me some tracks from a CD he'd just made with another pianist. The sound was just incredible. I asked him where it was recorded and he told me about this studio that was near his home in Udine in northern Italy. He said, "The engineer's my friend. We should go." So I thought, okay. Gandhi the driver, Danilo the passenger.
The jazz passenger.
The jazz passenger. It might sound strange, but I didn't really go there to record an album. I think I'd reached a point where I was getting frustrated with trying to record improvised music in a really narrow window of time. Every session just felt like you were watching the clock. Like you were trying to get the whole album in the bag before the end of that one day that you could afford in the studio. So I wanted to take some time out to rethink, develop, practice and explore some new music. And thanks to support from Creative Scotland, I was able to do just that. And the opportunity to have these few days in the studio landed at exactly the right time. I said to Danilo and Yuti at the start of the session that if we didn't produce a single track as a finished article, that was totally fine. For me, it was just about playing. I mean, they're such creative musicians. I don't think it would have made any difference to them either way. But it worked for me. I think it's quite common for improvising musicians to have a preconceived idea of what their music should sound like before they start to play. If you can remove the preconception, then you allow yourself to connect with creativity in a more authentic way. It's easier to be in the moment. And there I was in a great studio with one of the best pianos I ever played. A bass and drums dream team and a master recording engineer. We spent some time warming up, but the sound was just there as soon as I put the headphones on. And I realised at that moment just how much I value sound quality and instrument quality. A lot of the music on this album is quite sparse and uncomplicated. Much of that came from just responding to the way I was hearing the piano. Fazioli. Such a beautiful instrument. Incredible tone. And to hear how Stefano mixed that with the bass and drums into this kind of panoramic soundscape. It was incredible. The first thing we recorded was Going Nowhere, which had literally just been written the day before.
Beautiful song, this. It's like a trip, this. For my opinion, many images, when I listen these images of, I don't know, natural places, or like this villa for me.
We immediately found that sense of space again that I had felt when we first played together. And it just kind of set the tone for the whole session.
Landscapes.
And we played all kinds. I had some originals, we did some slightly more straight ahead jazz stuff, and we did a bunch of free improvisations. One of my favourite things about that session though was the fact that I took along several traditional folk songs and themes. I thought it would be interesting to see what the guys made of them without trying to force any kind of stylistic context or trying to teach them what the feel should be for a pipe march or whatever. Just to treat them as new melodies and respond in their own way. Stefano recorded everything we did for 2 days, and on the third day we mostly just listened.
Stefano, tu puoi passare questa, mostro, e la prima.
And chose the tracks that we liked best. Considering we weren't particularly trying to record an album, we ended up with enough music for 2. Who knows? Maybe we'll release Volume 2 someday. Momento is another word for a keepsake in the English language, but it's very often spelt the same way as the Italian word for a time or a moment. Both meanings work for me.